What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. Well, we got a little action. Actually, it's funny, as it looked very poorly after we put all those trades on Thursday. Suddenly, they're looking pretty good. So we'll see how it trades out. We'll see what happens with the overall market. And, of course, right now, volume is light again. So maybe not such a great opportunity to trade. But let's see what this NASDAQ looks like as a potential buy. Our stop would be 18. Excuse me. 18. Our stop would be 18.08. 18.098. Okay. It's got a little bit too far away from us, so we're going to pass it. I'm not going to chase him up. Again, I don't believe in that. I'd rather sit back and wait. And we also potentially missed one in crude here. But crude might be a little bit more active. Stop would be 60.29. I'm going to go ahead and take this crude trade. Okay. And our stop would be, as I said, 60.29. And you work if you have multiple contracts, you work one at 10 tick increments. You want to leave yourself with one. Okay. But you'd like to get out of some and take some profit out of the trade. So that would be what we'd be looking to do. And not much else going on here. So we'll go back and look at we got our open trade, so we know what that's at. So now let's go take a look at some of the other things. Apple obviously had a nice little rally all the way back up here, but certainly I'm not going to chase it up here. I think that, we've had that big rally off the bottom, and certainly I'm at a resistance level here, so I'm going to wait there. Amazon also, you're seeing a lot of these. Again, when you get these a little bit more wild action moves, Thursday and Friday were basically just straight down. They didn't have two-way action. Yesterday was really wild and had a lot of two-way trade. Okay. They were running up and running down, running up and running down, and then we kind of closed mixed. And this morning we're up pretty sharply. So we'll see what it looks like. Okay. So I'm going to pass this for now. Coin also has rallied $23 from the bottom. So once again, I'm not really in a hurry to do this. All I'm saying is a lot of the trades we had on before, okay, that we put on Thursday are now in the money and profitable. Okay, crowd obviously exploded off the bottom. Here was Thursday where we sold it, and we sold it right in here. So again, they still are in danger. It's not like they've run away from the opportunity, but certainly we are in much better shape. Meta, same thing. It's right back to where we sold it. Nothing to do here. Google is profitable. Okay. IWM also, working its way. Microsoft, again, if you put it on, it's profitable right now. But again, it's not, the week's not over. We still have, it could be very wild. It could be a little crazy here. A lot of things can go on before the weekends. In fact, I'm working, just I'll give you a full disclosure, I'm working orders to sell the NASDAQ at 18,500, and I'm working to sell the S&P at 5,400. Okay. Those are working orders to reverse along and get short. Okay. So again, I don't know if we'll get there, but certainly if we are, today would be the day I think it could do it, because we are due a big dead cat, rip your face off rally. And again, as we look here, really not a lot to get excited about. that I'd say, hey, we need to be involved in trading in here right now. We do have a crude trade on, which is even right now at the moment. But again, we're not getting the kickback that we'd like to get from here. So we'll wait. Again, this is what we look for is the activity. Now maybe gold will give us something here. But we need a little bit more speed. We need kind of more of the action we had yesterday. The VIX has come down almost 40% from its high yesterday. So that's something to worry, because again, if you're an options trader, you cannot be trading naked options right now. You have to be spreading them, because if you're not spreading them, you're putting yourself in dramatic danger. You're way overpaying price. Remember, options are always fairly priced, except when they're expensive. Okay? Because remember, even if it's a computer on the other side, market makers do not give up the edge. Okay? So you're never going to get a discount, but they will overcharge and charge you higher. So I think that's something that you have to keep in mind at all times. And again, it's kind of quiet. So let's go back to our main board and see what we can look at. Monster. Again, bounced nicely off the 200-day, bounced nicely off of the oversold conditions. It's a pretty wild trade. I tend to stay away from it when we're trading together. Nugget, again, collapsed. Now, we didn't do anything here. We talked about it, but we were never able to get a trade up. But you can see the big collapse here. It is bouncing nicely off its 200. But again, it's so slow that I'm not overly excited of trying to get involved here. Okay, that is one thing I want you to always remember, is we're not necessarily, we're not going to force trades to get in. Okay, NASDAQ is come off pretty solid, right? We were down to 400. We're back to 437. So again, I'm not really hepped up here. SMCI, which we put on last week, is working perfectly. XYZ, which we didn't put on, but we looked at it, but it is working if you did put it on. So there's a lot of things here, but now we're kind of in that nowhere range. We could really use a little bit of a hold on one second. Hold on one second for me. Sorry, guys. I have to kill this. Okay. So again, right now we're kind of in that stage. I think we let them rally and then look to sell them. Okay. I think that's the tack that we're going to take here. Win, obviously under a lot of pressure. Now, we didn't make a trade here, but if you did something with it yesterday, it was pretty good. You know, obviously Win is down a lot because of China. You know, that's a big part of their profit hub. Okay, we're losing a few ticks on our long crude trade here. Let's go back to see if we can get an add-on to it. And again, you can see that the speed has been slowed. If you watched yesterday, if you watch every day, the speed yesterday was much better and much faster. Okay, but again, this is not a surprise. You had 3 monster days in a row. In fact, if you were watching Sunday night into Monday, the NASDAQ futures opened down limit on Sunday night, and you got a rally, and you actually at one point yesterday got up 800 points in the NASDAQ before only closing up like 130. Okay, but it spent a lot of time jerking around. Okay, but now we're up pretty sharply. But again, it looks like it's peggering and weakening a little bit here. So we'll see how it trades out. In the meantime, we have nothing else to really put on. So we're going to wait and watch. And of course, let's just go back here. XBI, which was a losing trade. We put that on last week, and we put it on for last week, I believe. It was a loser. At least it was for me, a loser. And Zoom, okay, is bounced back. So this is kind of typical in a higher volatility environment. Markets tend to bounce back a little bit faster. And if you're not on top of it, then you'll miss. But it's always better to miss a trade than to put on a bad trade. excuse me, the decision not to trade is also a trade. Okay. And right now, again, I don't see a lot. Our crude trade is it depends on exactly where you got in. It's either about break even or a small loser at the moment. It is moving higher though, and maybe it's trying to do something, and we'll see. So again, this is kind of the patience it takes, excuse me, to trade these markets. Okay. Again, we're not getting the volume. We're not getting the speed. The panic is over from yesterday. So that was yesterday a very good opportunity from a day trading standpoint. Today, not so much. Now, it doesn't mean it can't happen any minute. Okay. Now, I do expect this rally to most likely continue. I expect a pretty sharp move up, even farther than here. And then I'd be looking to get short. Okay. Bear market rallies are the most vicious rallies you can see. Okay. And that is something that we have to remember. Okay. So now our crude trade is profitable. Okay. Now, if you want to play the real conservative route, you can lock in a tick or two and let it run. Okay. Or you can try to let it run a little bit farther without moving up your stop. My recommendation is to go ahead and move your stop up to break even and take the risk out of the trade, because there's really not enough action to make me want to be overly active here. So I'm gonna move my stop up and lock in 2 ticks, which if you're trading the micros, that's $8. If you're trading the big ones, okay, that's $80. Again, I'm looking not to get involved if it's not there, and I did get stopped out. Okay. So I made a little bit of a profit, and let's see if we can get another chance. Maybe we'll get another opportunity to buy it again. That is always something to look at. Okay, it's the opportunities that the markets create. Okay, that can put you in an opportunity. But right now, we're not getting many opportunities. This is just normal trade, and you can see by the volume, it's all pretty flat. Okay, there's no spikes. This was a little bit of a spike. Okay, but it was consistent with what was going on. In fact, this would have been a potential sell here. We didn't make the trade, so I don't call trades that I didn't make. I don't want you to think I know more than I do. I think it's just easier, but that could have been a potential opportunity. Okay, and so far it looks like a pretty good deal that we got out of our crude. Okay, because again, it's starting to head back lower again. Now maybe we'll get an opportunity to buy them again. I don't have any problem. I don't care which side of the market that I'm on. Okay, I don't have an opinion to side. I have a long-term opinion of what I think is going to happen, but that has nothing to do with what I'm doing in the next 4 minutes. Okay, and I think that's important for you to understand. Is we can only trade what the market offers us. And again, yes, they're going straight down right now, but there's not enough volume to create that blow off type of view. So why would I want to try to get involved? Again, crude's got a shot here with 2 minutes to go. We could get volume up to here, which would certainly be a potential buy. But again, I've got to get the volume now. I've got the price so far. Now I got to get the volume. Now, there are some long-term ratio trades, which we'll try to cover on Thursday. But the theory is you can use equity options against the futures market, or you can use futures options against futures. Okay. But the ratio in using the micros in the S&P Qs, you would use 5 options against 6 micros. Okay. You use 6 options against 5 micros. So now we are getting a potential a buy here in crude. Okay, we can actually flip over and take a peek at it right now. And so we need a green bar to turn this up. And if we get it, we'll be able to step in and buy. Okay. So we need a green bar to allow us to get in. And we don't have it coming yet, so we'll keep waiting for it. Again, now it's the patience of waiting. So again, it's still not giving us the trade. It's still going down, which is great. Doesn't matter to us. We're a buyer. Let it keep going lower. Okay. We have no other action anywhere else, so let it keep going down. And at some point, it'll create a buy, and we'll be ready to go. And the stop on this one would be, if we get it right now, the stop would be 59.85. 59.85. We don't have a trade yet. But it's close. Yeah, no trade yet. Okay, well, we'll keep waiting for it. Now, if you're not comfortable with this, since we're going to be down in a couple of minutes, again, then don't take the trade. If you're comfortable with it, you've got to stop. You've got your orders working up higher. And we still do not have a trade yet, though. Hold on one second. Okay, maybe we'll get a trade here. And your stop would be 84 would be the stop, and you can go ahead and buy it here if you want. That's up to you. 84 is your stop. And you have an order working above. Okay, and we have a nice little profit in this right now, but we need a little bit further so we can get one off. Okay, and since we're getting ready to wrap it up here, go ahead and put your stop in, lock in a couple of ticks and let it trade. Okay, so now you got no worse than a small profit for the day. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you back here on Thursday. Adios.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.